Yes, sorry. Right, beat the meep. Sorry, just the meep in this episode. Yes, don't worry, everybody. I'll just take him home and we'll be out of your hair. You presume it's a he? That's a good point. Yes, sorry. Um, are you a he? Or a she? Or they? Or an it?
I identify as what I am. It is the definitive article. I am the meep. Therefore, I identify as the meep.
Oh, I see. Yes, yes, I do that too. Yeah, I mean, I used to be he, him, but then I became a woman and became she, her, or they, them, and technically, I suppose I am a he, him slash they, them, or just they, them, or just the Doctor. Whether you like it or not, as one of my predecessors once said. Number 6, I believe. Yes, Technicolor Dreamcoat to you guys.
Workers pronouns. Trans people on the screen. As a black person.
Oh my Rassilon. It's Whingy Mac Babyface. He follows the hater on YouTube and Twitter and all that stuff. You know, he's one of his followers or their followers, whatever they identify. Oh, who am I kidding? They identify as he, don't they? Silly. I'm as pissed as you are to see him too.
I woke it up. I'm gonna complain to the BBC. I'm gonna add my name to these however number of people that were complaining about a trans person in this episode.
Oh, shut up, Whingy McBabyface. Right then. I gave you a fair warning. You had one chance. I will give you one more. Piss off.
Fuck you, you lefty, you liberal.
Right, now that's sorted, let's get on with the review.
I'm not dead yet. My bottle.
Go, Doctor. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Nick here, and welcome to my review of the first of the Doctor Who 60th anniversary specials, as part of the Doctor Who 60th anniversary specials trilogy miniseries, the series 14 slash season 40, season 40 slash season 1 specials miniseries, The Star Beast. The first episode to feature the 14th Doctor as played by David Tennant once again, unless you count Destination Skara, in which case technically that's the first one. Also CBB's Bedtime Story, the Doctor Who one with David Tennant in character as the 14th Doctor, both of which I reviewed last time, so check that out. Also, there are some expanded media stories that technically take place before this episode. Liberation of the Daleks, the comic, technically is the first story, and then there's a short story in the 2024 annual, And there's going to be a brand new 14th Doctor story and a brand new 15th Doctor story in a 15 Doctors story collection next year. Although I'm not sure when that one takes place. We'll have to find out when that book comes out. But I think the annual story takes place between Destination Skaro and here. Let's also say Bedtime Stories takes place in between as well, whilst Liberation of the Daleks is right after Power, right before Destination. But with all of those caveats out of the way, this is technically the first episode to feature the 14th Doctor, following the regeneration at the end of the previous special, The Power of the Doctor. Oh, before we begin, one other thing. If you saw my Series 13 and Specials reviews, or the end of the last review, you know exactly why I'm wearing this. Anyway, so, the Star Beast. The plot of this episode sees the 14th Doctor, played once again by David Tennant, as I mentioned, bumping into Donna Noble, not literally, but bumping into Donna Noble, played by Catherine Tate, in Camden Market in London. He also meets her daughter, Rose, played by Yasmin Finney, and Sean. I can't remember the actor's name, but he's awesome. He's one of my favourite characters in this episode, is Sean Temple Noble, or just Sean Noble, or Sean Temple, whatever. He's awesome. I really like him. He doesn't get much to do, but I think he's really great. And that's my stance on that character. However, apart from Donna, everyone then sees a spaceship, but it lands into a steelworks in North London, and then everyone watches it. Donna, of course, being the character who misses everything unless she's involved with it, misses it. That's become a bit of a running theme with the character. It's like she misses everything unless she's actually involved with anything. Anyway, so the Doctor goes to investigate the spaceship and meets Shirley Ann Bingham, played by Ruth Madeley, who previously voiced a character in some Sixth Doctor audios with him and Mel, Herbie, I believe, in a couple of box sets from 2022 to 23. However, she is playing a different character here, Shirley Ann Bingham, the 56th Unit Scientific Advisor. Side note, the Doctor says he was Scientific Advisor number 1, but technically that was Liz. But I guess she was demoted to Assistant, so maybe it became the Doctor after all. Can we say it's a joint position? The joint first? I'll also touch upon Shirley's character. She's really cool. She's quite fun, sparky kind of character. And yeah, she's pretty funny. She may be a wheelchair-bound character, but inside her wheelchair is some pretty cool gadgets. Something akin out of maybe something Q from James Bond would come up with, or a more better example, the wheelchair from Johnny English 2, where he's able to make it go really fast and get out a gun and point at some pensioners trying to use the lift at Ludgate Circus. It's funny in the actual film, trust me. But yeah, Shirley's really fun and Shirley's a fun character. We'll see some more of her in The Giggle as well. But more on that in that episode. It turns out that a creature called Beep the Meep. Oh, hold on, he's only called the Meep in this episode. He does at one point say he is the Beep of all Meeps, but other than that, that's the only time he actually explicitly calls himself Beep, or says he is known as Beep. But the rest of the time, he's just referred to as the Meep. It would have been nice if he'd called himself Beep throughout the episode, but oh well. Anyway, so the spaceship belongs to Beep the Meep, and Dave managed to escape using an escape pod and is found by Rose hiding in an alleyway in her bins. So she takes it in and tries to help them, but then they are discovered by Donna and then Sylvia. Meanwhile, a second group of aliens known as the Wrath Warriors are trying to hunt down the Meep, and whatever is inside of their spaceship has seemed to have taken over the minds, has hypnotized or possessed some unit soldiers to go and find the Meep as well. So everyone's kind of trying to find it, so the Doctor and the Noble family have to try and get it to safety. And that's the summary of the Star Beast without going into too many spoilers, because there is an excellent twist about halfway through the episode, which I will get to later, as this is a spoiler review, but the episode has been out At time of recording, it's January the 17th. At time of this video going out, it should be early February, because I'm going to be doing the While We Yonder and Giggle reviews on Universals, and the schedule is to have the reviews weekly over February. So this review is coming a little bit later than filmed. But anyway, yeah, it's been about nearly 2 months at time of recording and over 2 months at time of this video going out since this episode has aired. Also, it's based on a 1980s Doctor Who magazine comic strip called The Star Beast, written by Pat Mills and Dave Gibbons, who have been credited in the episode as from a story by. And yeah, if you already knew that story or the character would beat the meat, then you kind of already know what the twist is going to be. But it's still excellent to see it play out on TV. Oops, sorry. But yeah, anyway, we'll get to that. Yeah, I don't think many Doctor Who fans would be if they knew about that story or the character, would be that surprised. But anyone who doesn't know, anybody who's new, and the general audience, they'd be like, "Wow, that was a great twist." But more on that later. So yeah, the Star Beast starts out really fun and really enjoyable, really engaging as the start of this new trilogy of specials. It's a real great venture and a bit of a back to basics type, as Russell T Davies takes it back to a sort of a similar formula to what he did with his run of the show. It also just feels a little bit more fresh, because each new showrunner, when they come in, it makes it feel a bit fresh from the previous one. But after the last few years on the Chris Chibnall, where visually and script wise there have been plenty of kinks, and that's me putting it nicely, by the way, as well as also, like, I'm one of the ones who, like, okay, yeah, it's not perfect, but I still like it, there's still some great stuff in there, etc. So I'm one of the more positive dudes or dudettes or whoever. I'm one of the more positive people, but even I know that it's not all perfect. It is not. I'm not going to be lashing my tongue all over it and licking every single thing up. No, there's plenty of bad stuff, plenty of stuff that could have been better, and plenty of kinks to be ironed out. And I think this episode, okay, this era has so far shown a few of that as well, but and this episode included, and I've already mentioned some stuff about Destination Scar in the previous video, but at the time when the episode was airing, it feels more back to basics. It feels more fresh. Then again, I suppose in a way, The Woman Who Fell to Earth kind of felt the same way, following on from the Moffat era, and heck, even 11th Hour after the first RTD era. But I don't know. There was just a big. We did see the. But what was interesting is we rewatched Power of the Doctor the day before this episode aired on TV. We rewatched that to catch up. And then seeing this episode the next day, and it was a very interesting comparison to see what the two eras were like. Granted, the same could be said for watching Twice Upon a Time and Woman Who Fell to Earth, and even End of Time Part 2 and 11th Hour. But yeah, there is something intriguingly different, and it feels more back to basics, even more so than previously. I don't know if it's because it's the return of RTD, or if it's the fact that there's not as many visual effects shouting the screen at every other minute. It's like a lot of the Whittaker episodes did. Though I can't really blame Series 13 too much because of the fucking pandemic. Fuck you, pandemic! But yeah, that's one of the reasons why Eve of the Daleks is one of my favourite episodes of the era, because it tries to be more practical than some of the other episodes. And whilst this episode has notably quite a bit of visual effects on the screen, it doesn't try to shout the episode too much, like some of those Flux episodes. And it just feels like a really great workmanship with the design of the episode in terms of the visual. And I think the reason why is because of Rachel Talalay, who returns to direct her 8th episode of Doctor Who, following Dark Water and Death in Heaven, the Series 8 finale, Heaven Sent and Hellbent, the final 2 episodes of Series 9, not a two-parter, separate episodes that just linked together. But yeah, last 2 episodes of that series. World Enough in Time and The Doctor Falls, the 2-part finale to Series 10. Series 8 is also a 2-parter. And Twice Upon a Time, the final episode of the 12th Doctor's era, following Series 10. So technically, that's 3, the last 3 episodes of Series 10 if you count the specials. And, you know, I have my different opinions on each of those episodes. I love Heaven Sent. I love World Enough Time in the Doctor Falls. I don't like Hellbent. I don't like Twice Upon a Time that much. And Dark Water and Death in Heaven, kind of on that leaning towards not really liking, but still got their moments. Sort of level. The Star Beast, I can thankfully say I am including in the I like this camp. I don't love it as much as those other three, Heaven Sent, World, and Falls, but I can safely say I like it. And yeah, I think the workmanship. I'm going to put this down now. The workmanship of this episode just feels really great, and I think Talali's direction just makes it pop. And I think the other two directors of these specials are gonna make their episodes work just as well, but with a brand new, fresh Star Wars. Talali is bringing it back down to what we are aware of from beforehand. She also makes the action scenes look effortless. The action in this episode is really good, really fun. Some of the best action of these specials is in this story, and it's really fun, especially when you're seeing the characters running across not across through the attics of the houses. You're watching the Doctor, the Noble family, and Beep running through them whilst the possessed unit soldiers attack the Wraith Warriors, and then some unpossessed unit soldiers come along and start fighting back as well. And it's some really great action scenes in there, some good moments, some good comedy, and yeah, it's good stuff, some good character work in the first half. It is more after the beats reveal that things start to kind of go down a bit. Whilst the beep is still one of the best elements of the episode, though. That it's not really that, it's more the story itself. Okay, spoiler alert incoming, we're getting into the second half of the episode. So after the Doctor takes the Meep and the Noble family to an underground car park, he then acts like a judge in a kind of a mock courtroom, and he tries to understand. He's trying to find out what's going on by semi-interrogating the Wraith Warriors, or Wrath Warriors, sorry, as well as just kind of doing a courtroom thing. When the Wraith Warriors pretty much say that the Meep is actually a villain, and then the Meep then turns around and says, "Oh, to hell with it!" and pretty much reveals that they are a villain. I already thought the Meep was a brilliant character in this episode already, and then they make that reveal. I already knew what the character was going to be like anyway, but the way the episode handles it was absolutely spot on. This was so good. For the rest of the episode, the Meep is the best thing about it, but the story kind of takes a bit of a dip. Whilst we got Meep's plan to kind of suck up energy from the Earth, is it energy or lava or something? Double dagger drive, but it's trying to suck up energy from the Earth, so the Doctor and the family have to try and stop him. And this is all building up to Donna getting her memories back after being forced to forget about traveling with the Doctor due to the meta-crisis stuff. So he's tried to erase her memories so that she would stay alive, and if she remembered, she would die. Well, I suppose that defense in the end of time was a one-time use only. Maybe if it was forces out of the Doctor's control, but when he's around, Anyway, so the story is basically building up to Donna regaining her memories and becoming the Doctor Donna again. And what happens is the Doctor has to use, when he's backed into a corner, he has to have Donna remember the parts of her mind that was his as well, the Doctor Donna shared mind thing. When he has to bring that back out, he uses some code words to bring it out. Okay, interesting. And then Donna has a bit of fun as the Doctor Donna as they're able to stop Beep the Meep. But apparently Donna doesn't die because she shares her and the Meta-Crisis stuff with Rose Noble. So she shares the Meta-Crisis stuff. Well, that's one way to get to split the Meta-Crisis thing, but just to slow it down at least, it's getting rid of it. That's I'm not really sure how. Maybe it's because I'm a guy, but because apparently women would understand. So they say in the episode, like something that a male presenting Time Lord wouldn't understand, but if the Doctor was still a woman, she would, and they choose to let the Meta-Crisis energy go. It's a bit odd. I think it's some sort of statement like women are able to let things go whilst men can't. I'm not entirely sure what the statement is. Again, maybe it's because I'm a guy. Maybe I don't get it. Even though a guy wrote this. Well, it's kind of a bit of an odd way to get rid of the meta crisis energy. I still don't quite get it. Yeah, these episodes so far have better mystery setups than they do actual reveals. Except in the next episode. The next one has some pretty good reveals to the mysteries. But the whole meta crisis, how to get rid of it reveal, and also the whole thing about the Doctor's face coming back and Destiny heading to Donna, they're not the greatest reveals. I mean, the Doctor theorizes Donna's destiny in order to help save London from the Meep, but some of the other reveals, as we'll see in the Giggle, along with some of these ones here, it kind of like, I wouldn't say cop outs, but they're not the best reveals. While Blue Yonder so far has had the best mystery setup and payoff moments of the series, and that's more for its own episode mysteries itself as opposed to an arc one. That being said, I am interested in seeing how the Ruby Sunday stuff is going to play out in series 14 when we get to that, as well as all the whole hidden villains stuff that will come around. But we'll see how it goes. So the plot's not entirely perfect towards the end, but the episode remains a fun, enjoyable, engaging first adventure into this new era. Unless you're a transphobe, in which case you're going to be frothing at the mouth every time Rose Noble is on screen, as she is a trans character played by a trans actress, and, you know, outside of that, there isn't really a huge amount to her, apart from the fact she can't act, apparently. But, you know, she's likeable enough to follow for a bit, and, yeah, Yasmin Finney does a good job. So, she's a likeable character, it's just that maybe we should have had more screen time or a bit more stuff to get to know her. And I say this now more than I would in the Giggle because we don't see her next episode and she only has like a scene or two in the Giggle. So I'm saying this now about her in her Spotlight episode, or the episode that spotlights her the most, because there's not a huge amount to the character outside of being trans. But she is still a likable character in the episode she appears in, and yeah, and also the Meta Crisis stuff. She's also crucial to that. But again, that ties back into that whole like what this is how it all ties up and everything is fixed, and like still wrapping our heads around that. Still likable character nevertheless, just maybe we need a bit more personality from her, or a bit more, or she does a bit more stuff when she comes back. Again, not bad, just like maybe we can have a little, if she's due a return later down the line, maybe we can have a bit more from her. Also, a return means those transphobes would be even more frothing at the mouth. Yay. I say yay until they start posting videos about it online. Oh, you can't win. As I mentioned before, Beep the Meep, or the Meep as they just call them in this episode, is the best character of the story. They are so good, and Miriam Margolyes is perfect for the character. I had heard about the character before, but it was about 2018 that I first heard a Big Finish short audio, The Ratings War, where Toby Longworth played the character. That's where I really knew more about the character. From that, the character has appeared in a couple of Doctor Who magazine comics, first meeting the Fourth Doctor, and I think he's met the Eighth Doctor as well, and then the Sixth Doctor in the Ratings War, and he's popped up a few times, and then this is the first TV appearance based on that original Fourth Doctor comic, meeting the 14th Doctor. This story does treat it like it is the first time the Doctor meets the character, which is fair enough, I guess. And it still works as a really good adaptation, but it also has to be that, but also the start of this trilogy of stories, and a story that reintroduces the Doctor and Donna together and the Noble family, and try and wrap up the Meta Crisis stuff so that we can have back to Series 4 style adventures in the next two specials. Well, this one as well, but with Donna's memory back. But that being said, the Doctor and Donna are also really great. They're brilliant, and David Tennant, Catherine Tate, they do not miss a beat. They are absolutely phenomenal in this episode. And shout out to Jacqueline King as Sylvia, who is also really great as well in this episode. This could be Sylvia's best episode as a character, and Jacqueline King's best episode is as the character. This will turn left, but turn left for other reasons. Showing the more depressed and losing the willingness to live side of the character, whilst this is more like because the character of Sylvia wasn't the most caring or nicest person in the world, but after the events of series 4, she's much more of a mother bear style character, as Mr. TARDIS called her here, and I like that side of the character in this story, and it's a good character growth for her. A bit like when Francine Jones had a bit of a off-screen character shift between series 3 and series 4, and even then that didn't get explored as much. I suppose Jackie also got a bit of a series arc over series 1 and into series 2 as well, and the personality shifts over that. So yeah, it's interesting to see the RTD mother characters having those character shifts between or during series. Now we'll have to see how Carla Sunday's character progresses over series 14 and 15, or seasons 1 and 2 of the new era, whatever the new era is going to be called. Now, I understand why some people are coming from the criticisms of the 14th Doctor being a bit careless in this episode, and I kind of see why. I think this is the episode, along with Destination Skaro, that shows the 14th Doctor as his most 10th Doctor-esque character, because that personality is seeped into the story. In terms of the TV episodes, because the comic Liberation of the Daleks also has some of that 10th Doctor stuff in there. In fact, a very cocky 10th Doctor at that. But these episodes are probably this one and Destination Skaro probably show him off as the more like that 10th Doctor elements still seeping through, even though he's trying to forge his own path, as we see in the scene with Shirley Ann. But it's the next 2 episodes where I think the 14th Doctor really comes into his own, that differentiates him enough from the 10th Doctor to be his own incarnation that just looks and sounds and sometimes acts the same. But there is those next 2 episodes really do delve into the 14th Doctor as a character, whilst this one kind of is more nearer to that 10th Doctor personality we thought he would be pretty much similar to. Like, he was going to continue that. In a way, that is sort of true, but it's not too bad. It's fine as it is here. And then the next 2 episodes, they really delve into the character in a post-Flux universe, and after the events of Flux, the experiences of being Doctors 11, 12, and 13, and everything they went through. So yeah, the next 2 episodes are really gonna go into the 14th Doctor as a character, and I think that's where he will really shine. So I'll talk more about him in those 2 episodes, as well as also in a ranking video of the specials and a top 5 14th Doctors moments, because we can't really do a top 5 stories unless I added Destination Skaro and Bedtime Stories to the ranking. But yeah, the 14th Doctor really shines in the next 2 episodes, whilst here he still does have some of that 10th Doctor personality more shine through more than those 2 will, but he's still building up to that characterization we're going to see him with. So it's a good step up to that. Before I go, I will quickly touch upon my thoughts on the new sonic screwdriver and the new TARDIS. Sonic screwdriver first. By the way, this is the limited edition character options Sonic, but I've also got the standard one. I would say, if you see my latest episode of Earth Agents, but YouTube has currently blocked it, you fuckers. So, yeah, maybe not. But yeah, I like this sonic screwdriver. It took me a little bit of time to get used to it, but I think the toys and then the use in the episode helps. This episode does kind of use it, not so much a lot. One of the criticisms most people have with the Sonic these days is its overuse and being like overpowerful. It does a lot, and it's like a big plot device. And in this episode, it's probably got the most features it's ever had, as it's able to do some virtual stuff, like the Doctor's able to look at the stuff on the ship in on a virtual screen, and then makes some force fields and resonate concrete, or well, water, as they go through the attics and intercept teleports. So yeah, it's probably the most powerful the Sonic has been, the least technically advanced Sonic so far, which is why in the next episode it's taken out of the game when it's used to help fix the TARDIS, and then the Doctor can't use it for an episode. So yeah, so in the episode where it's at its most not overused, but most overpowerful, overactive, like it can do literally anything. And then the next episode, it's taken out of the picture after the first couple of minutes. So, yeah. And then the third one, it's back to it's more of a standard use. And then that's it from this Sonic, which I find disappointing. We got a brand new flat design for the 15th Doctor. More on that when we get to Church on Ruby Road. But yeah, it's a shame. It was nice Sonic, and it was only used in 3 episodes. Well, not even that. Episode 2 didn't even use it that much. So, yeah, it would have been nice if either 15 continued using this Sonic, maybe the limited edition style, where it's more chromy, more silver. Maybe with an extra maybe with the extra feature of that Rwandan Gallifreyan symbols on there as well. That's a really nice touch to the 15th Doctor's Sonic Screwdriver, by the way. Or the 14th Doctor continued using 13s for a little bit. He and 15 are technically using the 13th Doctor TARDIS exterior, and 14s did use 13's TARDIS interior for the comic Liberation of the Daleks, and it's technically seen at the start of Destination Skaru. So it just has the TARDIS decides to change whilst the events of this episode take place. Interesting, okay. So technically the 14th Doctor's got 2 TARDISes, you just don't really see him using the first one that much on screen. Very brief glimpse in Destination Scarring, that's about it. So yeah, overall, this is a really great episode, a really good first episode of the 60th anniversary specials trilogy. Really fun and engaging. The story does start to kind of fall a little nearer to the end in the second half, but it's still a good episode nevertheless, and a really fun, enjoyable time, and a good first 60th anniversary special. So I will be giving The Star Beast a well-deserved 8 out of 10. Yeah, I think it's really good, really fun, really enjoyable. I think the next 2 episodes are stronger script-wise, or at least in execution, even though I do think Rachel Talladdy is the best of the directors, but because she's one of the best directors of Who. Even if I didn't really like the episode she directs, they at least look great. And yeah, this is a really great episode. Everyone is at their A game for the most, or at least B game, and it's an absolute delight to watch. Even if it's not perfect, it could do with some ironing out, but it's still maybe a little bit of rewrites towards the end as well. But it's still a really good episode. Really enjoyed it. So that's it from my review of The Star Beast. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time on the Whoniversal's YouTube channel. As I explain at the end of the Destination Scar review, I'm going to be reviewing Wild Blue Yonder and The Giggle on the Whoniversals, and they'll be in the next couple of weeks. And then I'll put link videos in this channel to those videos when I do them. So you can check those videos out on that channel when they come out, or follow the link provided in the description of the link videos. And then we're back on this channel for the Church on Ruby Road. So thank you so much for watching this review. I'll see you guys next time on the Whoniversals for Wild Blue Yonder and then The Giggle, and then back here for a 60th anniversary specials ranking, top 5 14th Doctors, top 5 14th Doctor moments, top 5 14th Doctor moments ranking, and then the Church on Ruby Road review. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. below to subscribe to the Nicholas Payne YouTube channel.